Hello, fans of The Last of Us. This is John of Video Games and the World, and welcome to my review of The Last of Us Season 2. So, The Last of Us Season 2 has concluded, and I gotta say that it was a really good season. We saw some familiar scenes we remember from the game, and also there were liberties taken as we noticed the differences. This season sees the return of Joel and Ellie, as well as familiar characters, brand new ones, new dangers, and various tragedies occurring as well. The Last of Us Part 2 was released 5 years ago, and I still have it, and it made me want to play this again. Now, I uploaded my playthrough here on my main channel as well as my gaming channel, and I'm planning to upload another playthrough of the first and second games on my Facebook gaming channel. The link is in the description. Now, this review may have some spoilers, so if you haven't watched the whole thing yet, please watch the show and come back for this review. With all that said and done, this is the review of The Last of Us Season 2. Enjoy. 4 years have passed since the events in Salt Lake City, where Joel saved Ellie from the Fireflies. The two are living peaceful lives in the settlement of Jackson, Wyoming. One day, a group of people approach Jackson, and while the settlement is in a very dangerous situation, tragedy strikes when Ellie is forced to watch a loved one die. Ellie then goes on a journey to get justice for the death of the person that she loved. In this journey, not only she will face infected swarming the deserted cities and towns, but extremely dangerous factions such as a heavily armed militia and a cult. But this journey can turn into a warpath of revenge. This season introduced some brand new characters that are not in the game, and some were mentioned in the game. Catherine O'Hara of Beetlejuice and Home Alone fame plays Gail Linden. Joel's therapist and the wife of former Firefly named Eugene Linden, played by Joe Pantoliano, who is known for one of the most memorable yet hated characters in The Sopranos, Ralph Cifaretto. Gail becomes an alcoholic, grieving the loss of her husband, and is resentful of Joel. Not to mention, she is cynical and not deceived by his posturing. Now, Catherine does a lot of comedy, and I gotta give her so much credit for being part of a show that's very dark, serious, and dramatic. She indeed brought some good dark comedy into her role. Catherine was a major part of my childhood when I saw her in Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, and Beetlejuice. Joe Pantoliano did a very good job as Eugene Linden, who was once a Firefly. His end was very tragic, as we see in the show, and his death played a huge role in Ellie learning the truth about what happened in Salt Lake City. In the game, Eugene only appears in a picture, and Joel tells Ellie the truth when she went to Salt Lake City on her own to find out what really happened. But in the show, he tells her the reason why he saved her was out of love. He did the same thing in the game. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isabela Merced plays Ellie's love interest, Dina, who in the game was modeled after Casina Caradona and voiced by Shannon Woodward. Isabela did a fantastic job portraying a character who, much like in the game, is a wisecracking, free-spirited girl with a curious nature. I found it interesting how she wanted to learn more about circuit breakers from Joel, and she really captured the personality of the character so well. Young Masson played as Jesse, and I gotta say he did the character right, being serious and puts people first, much like his video game counterpart. Caitlin Dever played the role of Abby Anderson, and I gotta say that she did an amazing job. At the same time, those are some really big shoes she's filling with this character, because in the game, a lot of people hated playing this character because of what happened. But let's not focus on this situation. So we know that Abby learns that Joel killed her father during a massacre at the hospital, and she wants revenge. She later joins the Fireflies and is given permission to go to Jackson. And of course, a lot of us who played The Last of Us Part 2 know how that goes. Someone criticized Caitlin being Abby as being, quote-unquote, too thin, not muscular enough, etc. But I gotta say that she did a pretty good job. And I must remind people that this is a show adapting the video game, so expect a few differences here and there, okay? Come to think of it, I was kind of hoping they cast Florence Pugh, but Caitlin did a good job. Tati Gabrielle played as the W.L.F medic, Nora. Tati Gabrielle isn't new to Naughty Dog. She was in the live action Uncharted movie, this show, and she's going to be in the upcoming video game Intergalactic, The Heretic Prophet. Gabrielle said that in that scene of the episode, Feel Her Love, that her brain was a little in and out at the time. That scene where Ellie confronts Nora was well done, but personally, I prefer the scene in the game. It was far more brutal and ruthless. Because you see that Ellie is seeing red, and it's no longer a pursuit of justice, but one of revenge. Finally, Pedro and Bella really brought the best out of each other this season. Bella was incredible as Ellie, and Pedro was still incredible as Joel. They truly cast the right actors for the show. And I gotta say the same thing about Rutina and Gabriel as Maria and Tommy, respectively. What I like about the flashbacks of Joel and Ellie is the one at the museum and when they got to the Apollo space module. It felt so much like playing the game because it was such a beautiful moment that she was imagining going into space and to the moon while listening to the recording when the Apollo 11 blasted off into space. The scene in the museum was a moment of father and daughter that was so beautiful, even in a dark, depressing world. Now, the spores were not seen in the first season, but in this season, they were shown. And what was interesting was how the cordyceps can grow slowly and attract a horde of infected as well. When I saw that battle for Jackson, at first I was like, don't tell me this is something out of the Battle of Alexandria in The Walking Dead. But I gotta say that it was pretty awesome as they were prepared. Tommy was badass with that flamethrower fighting the bloater. It was awesome. The Seraphites were done right as well, and hopefully by the next season we can see how this whole war between the Seraphites and the W.L.F began, even before the events of The Last of Us. I liked how they included Isaac's origins when he was with Fedra and rebelled against them. So finally, to wrap this up, this season was totally amazing. As amazing as the first season, as it had amazing acting, writing, character development, familiar things that we saw in the game, as well as some brand new stuff with the liberties that the writers, producers, and directors took. For Season 3, it will be interesting to see how the show does the second part of The Last of Us Part 2 from Abby's perspective. And hopefully we can get to see Yara and Lev and see their backstory before they fled from the Seraphites. My final score for The Last of Us Season 2 is a 10 out of 10. And that is all, everyone. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe, etc. This is John of Video Games in the World signing off. Endure and survive.